So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to a brand new episode of Is It That Bad, where we take a look at an album that maybe got mixed reviews, and we are going to, go through the 3 rounds. On the first round, we're going to say our first impressions of when we listen to this. Then the second round, we pick 3 songs that we think are the weakest. And on the third and final round, we both give our last impressions and both thumbs up, thumbs sideways, or thumbs down. And this weekend, for this episode, we're talking about an album that actually turns 30 this week. This Friday, this album has turned 30, and it's an album by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And we're taking it back to 1995 when the Red Hot Chili Peppers put out the follow-up to Blood Sugar Sex Magic, 1 Hot Minute. And I gotta say, I've always enjoyed this album cover.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
It kind of has a feel of like a handmade sign that like an elementary school would use for an event.
Probably. So, as you can see, I'm joined by Rock of All Ages. Rock of All Ages, how are you?
I'm Rocco now, thank you.
Oh, yes, the artist formerly known as
The artist formerly known. Yes.
Rocco. And we have Brady, or as I like to call him, the YouTube Bradley Cooper.
Hmm.
How are you, Brady?
I'm
And
good, man. I'll take it. I'm rocking out as well.
you're you can call James Gunn like, hey, I can voice Raccoon. And finally, rounding up this panel, we have the man, the myth, the legend, JC Rock and Metal Reviews. JC, how are you?
Hello, doing good, thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going back to this album, and this is an album that we were discussing something online at the end. So at the end we also almost say, "Is it that bad?" But this almost feels like an "Is it that bad?" Dark Horse disc episode. So even though Tom the Green Man is not here, because right now it's super late in London, he's sleeping, but he's in spirit with us because this is an album that I picked because it got mixed reviews when it came out. But this is my theory why it got mixed reviews. First of all, John Frusciante was out of the band, and they have Dave Navarro, who's known for Jane's Addiction. And this album is well known to be the follow-up to this album. And then this is the album that followed it. So basically, these are, in my opinion, Red Hot Chili Peppers' best album. So it's hard to be like, it's like the middle. 1 Hot Minute, the child in the middle, the forgotten child. So yeah, we're gonna talk about this album. So I want to start. First I'm gonna start with it's gonna be JC, Brady, then Rocco, and then me. So, JC, your first impressions of when you listen to 1 Hot Minute.
Okay, I don't think I bought this when it came out in 1995. I was a big fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers in the late 80s with Mother's Milk and with Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Those were some really good albums I used to like. But I think by 1995, I kind of was doing other things. I remember listening to the singles on the radio. I remember listening to Airplane and My Friends and those, but I remember listening to this. I mean, later on, I guess when streaming was available, and I've always liked it. I think it's a little different. It's more psychedelic. It's a little less funky. I think people were expecting Blood Hot, whatever it's called, Blood Sugar Sex Magic Part 2, but it's kind of like an album that doesn't sound like any of their other albums, because after this, they released Californication, and then every album after Californication kind of stayed in that same style. So I think it's a very unique album, which is why I think a lot of people don't like it. Plus the fact that it came out like 4 years after Blood Sugar Sex Magic, which is a lot of time in like 90s, for the 90s. So I think people were expecting something different and the change of guitarist. I think that's why they immediately didn't like it. So I think, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
that,
I think,
that's a picture that they used to promote it.
Uh,
yeah,
boy,
very
the
90s.
90s, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically it. I think it's just one of those albums that it just came out at a weird time, I guess, and it's kind of like a weird album in their discography because it doesn't really form any part of like a particular era from this band, I guess, if that makes sense. So I don't know. Those are my first impressions. Yeah.
Yeah, good first impressions, JC.
Right.
What about you, Brady?
Okay, so I think I'll have somewhat of a unique perspective for this episode because I've never really been a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. I don't dislike them, but they're just one of those bands where you hear, several of their hits and you obviously know what their music sounds like. But for me, I don't know, I was never intrigued enough to really dive into their catalog. So I don't really know much of their music at all beyond the hits, obviously. Um, so going into this one, which was advertised somewhat as being a different album and sort of a change of sound for them, I really didn't know what to expect. I was at least still expecting to have some familiarity and for the album to sound like Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I would say it does. But there definitely was some experimentation that leaped out to me that I didn't expect to hear, which is something that I always respect. I like when bands kind of try new things, and it automatically made the album more interesting and it made me want to listen to it more, which is great. Um, Unfortunately, some of the experimentation doesn't really work for me. Some of it felt a bit trend hoppy even at the times, being that this was 1995 when this album came out, which I'll elaborate on that in round two. But yeah, overall, I was actually pretty intrigued to listen to this album more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an album that I haven't listened to in a while, but I would say it's their most different sounding album by far. Like obviously Navarro. So Rocco, your first impressions.
Uh, this album is only a couple of months younger than me, actually.
Okay.
Hmm.
I've heard it before, albeit not in a long while. I know the album's creation was troubled and its reception was ironically icy, but I am a defender of this album. Not of Anthony Kiedis, though. Fuck that guy. Uh, John Frusciante is a beloved guitarist who was instrumental to what made Mother's Milk and Blood Sugar Sex Magic good albums. Uh, However, I mean, those are big shoes to fill. And if you have to replace him with anyone, I know people kind of complained about Dave Navarro being recruited for the band, but you could do a lot worse than Dave Navarro in 1995. Um, so yeah, I really like this album. I actually had to, well, I'll say more about my three picks, but I had some difficulty finding a bottom three.
Okay. Good first impression. So I am a fan of Red Hot Chili Peppers, but I wouldn't say they're in my top 10 favorite bands. I have some of their albums. I also have By the Way, but they're a band that like I did listen to this album when it came out. I actually had it on CD, and yeah, I even read Anthony Kiddit's like book, and yes, the dude the dude is has some issues, and you
Yes.
know what? This album is so old that he wouldn't date it.
Isn't he like 60 now or something?
He's like 60. I think he's a kind of 19-year-old or 20-year-old girlfriend. Like,
Oof.
dude, you could be their grandfather or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Oof.
like, So yeah, Anthony Kiedis, but you know what? He was like that. In the 90s, he dated an actress that was in the movie Say Anything. And on the book, there's pictures of her, and I think she was underage when that happened. But I read his book. He's not a good guy.
Yeah, when people say they hate Red Hot Chili Peppers, they usually mean they hate Anthony Kiedis.
Yeah, because Flea's a great bass player. Chad Smith is good with the drums. And I didn't, what I thought that I like Dave Navarro in Jane's Addiction. I think he's a great guitar player, but I think there was something missing maybe in the chemistry. And maybe that's why they only did one album. This album was played with it was a difficult album to make. Not as difficult as Van Halen 3, maybe, but difficult nonetheless.
Oh, it turned out way better than Van Halen 3.
Yes. So when I listened to this album, I hadn't listened to this album in a while, so I just remember the singles, especially the first song, Warped. That's a song that I love. I remember that video from the 90s because at the end, Anthony Kiedis and Dave Navarro make out. And I remember seeing that I'm like, yeah.
Gay rights.
I wasn't into it, but yes, good for them. Good for them for the action. But yeah, that was a song I liked. And Aeroplane, I think Aeroplane, if you think about it, is the most Red Hot Chili Pepper song sounding of this record. Like that song could have been on Blood Sugar Sex Magic on Californication. I think that's the only track on this record that kind of has like that formula, in my opinion. But yeah, when I did enjoy this when it came out. I didn't like it as much as Blood Sugar Sex Magic. And when Californication came out, I forgot all about this album, except the single. So I hadn't listened to it in years. But I saw that it was going to have an anniversary, and I'm like, oh, this had mixed reviews. And we hadn't talked about Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I picked this one because this was interesting because their newer albums are pure shit. So it was going to be easy for me crapping on their newer albums.
I don't think they're that bad, but I mean, yeah, Californication's a better album.
They're pretty bad. The last 10 years they've released crap after crap. So at least in my opinion. So those are my first impressions of the record. I did listen to it when it came out. So let's go to round 2, where we pick songs that maybe we think are the weakest. So JC, what songs did you pick?
Okay, yeah, I kind of had a hard time picking my least favorites, but I happened to pick 2 songs which happen to have Flea on vocals. One is Deep Kick. It's kind of weird. Like the beginning reminds me of like Jim Morrison, like reciting poetry. It's psychedelic, but then it gets funky. And the second part has the vocals by Flea, and I think that's kind of where the song lost me a little bit. And then the second song, it's like this acoustic track called P. This is just like filler for me. It's just like an acoustic track. It sounds like some type of like Nirvana B-side or something like that. I think I just didn't like that one too much. And it might just be the vocals. And I kind of struggled to find the third one that I didn't like, but I picked Tearjerker. It's kind of cool. It's laid back. It's relaxing, but maybe one of the more forgettable songs, as the songs that come right after it are much better. So that's it. Those are my 3 picks.
Yeah, Deep Kick. That's the one that says something, but the butthole surfers.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Oh, hey, they made a song called Pepper.
Yeah, it's better to regret something you did than something you didn't do. So good picks, JC. So what about you, Brady?
Okay, so yeah, I was able to come up with 3 songs that I felt were the weakest. The first one being actually the intro, the first track on here, Warped.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I know you said you like that one. But It didn't do it for me. The vocals in the intro were kind of weird. This was one of a few songs on here where Anthony Kiedis in particular kind of sounds like he's trying to do like a bad grunge imitation. At least that's how it came out to me. The song was just, to me, kind of came off like a bit messy, and I couldn't really get into it. The second song I had was Coffee Shop. Similar vibes here. The vocals in particular are just super like goofy and unintelligible, and I don't know what exactly they were going for with this song, but it just, again, it's kind of a mess to my ears. And then for my third track, I also had P. This one is one where lyrically, like, I understand the sentiment where it's supposed to be like kind of like this talking back to the machismo tough guy attitude and saying with lines like, "Oh, you can kick my ass, so what?" Like, I get that, but I think they could have done this in better ways that could have been maybe taken a bit more seriously, because just the vocal deliveries and some of the lyrics, how he's saying, "I'm a little pea, I'm a tiny little ant," and he says, "I'm a pacifist." He says, "I'm small." Like, it's really hard to take this song seriously. Like, I actually laughed out loud, I think, at several points throughout this song when I first heard it. So yeah, those were my bottom three. I don't really think among all three of these songs, I don't think they're terrible. It's just because they all have moments and aspects of it that I think are okay. But they definitely, they jumped out at me as the three weakest tracks on here. So yeah.
Nice. So far, P has been picked twice. So Rocco, your picks?
I had to cheat. Two of my bottom three were bonus tracks.
That's cheating, man.
Oh, hey, there's nothing in the rules that says I couldn't do it. But even then, I didn't dislike any of them. But
Really? I thought Bob was terrible.
I didn't pick Bob.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Number three is Melancholy Mechanics. This was on the soundtrack to the movie Twister, yes, but it was a bonus track on the album's Japanese edition, so it counts. It's a
Okay.
nice song, but at 2 points, there's this big explosion of sound that comes in and kind of interrupts the mood. I thought that was a weird choice. Second is Let's Make Evil. It goes a little too long and runs through too many parts too quickly. And one, again, is P. I don't dislike this song. I enjoy it as like a goofy little interlude. But it is not a song I would choose to hear by itself. It is the kind of song that you only hear when you're listening to the album the whole way through.
Yeah. At least P is not as bad as when Pearl Jam did that cockroach song in Vitology.
Oh, Bugs?
Yeah.
No,
which-
I like Bugs though.
that's an amazing album with one crap song. And it's
Oh, not the like 8-minute song at the end about spanking.
no, I forgot that one. But yeah, that Bob song is just I didn't cheat, man. I picked songs from the 13 tracks that were released Japanese version. Like, no, I pick one, I pick P because it's filler. It's just a filler track. And I don't know, I agree with Brady. I get the sentiment, but it comes out like too quirky to be taken seriously. But actually, I think there's a song none of you mentioned that I think is absolutely terrible. It is called Walkabout. I'm going.
I can kind of see that.
What?
I can kind of see that. The lyrics are a little.
Going on a walkabout.
I think I considered that one too, honestly, now that I'm remembering.
Yeah, that song is terrible because at least I like the sentiment in people. Walkabout is the worst, is pure trash for me. I'm going on a walkabout. It's like, it's so stupid. And even the music it just seems like they're playing and they're just like making this shit up as they're playing. It sounds like an improvised song. The lyrics are stupid. It doesn't really go anywhere. So yeah, to me, that track is pure filler. And the other one I would pick, I think Deep Kick is really a strange song. The beginning, they're like doing a Leonard Cohen thing, and it's just too weird and quirky, and I don't think it's a cohesive song. I think it's like all over the place, and I could have said that of One Big Mob, but I actually enjoyed that one more. I actually enjoyed One Big Mob, so I would pick that one. So I pick P, Walkabout, and Deep Kick. I know Coffee Shop is pretty basic, but I don't know. That song makes me happy, man. It's I like going to coffee shops. I don't know, yeah. So everyone, at least everyone picked P.
Yep.
All four of us picked that song. So everyone has picked 3 tracks. So now we're going to the third and final round where we give our last impressions, and we say if it's a thumbs up, thumbs sideways, or thumbs down. So JC.
Okay, I think the biggest problem with this album, it's the same problem that most albums have in the 90s, that they were kind of too long. I think it was in the time when people were buying mostly on CDs, and I think the record companies wanted to try to fill the entire CD and just give people like enough music for what they're buying. But when you're doing that, you end up with some filler tracks like P, or maybe some of the others you guys mentioned. But in general, I think it's a decent album. I don't really think it's a bad album at all. I think it's different. It's unique. It doesn't sound like any of their other ones, and I know it kind of sits in the middle between their 2 biggest ones. But it's a thumbs up for me. I think it's a good album in general. Yeah.
JC, is it a
Yeah.
dark?
Yeah, I was thinking of mentioning that because we did that Dark Horse episode with Trivium, and I think we were saying some of the same points, where that Trivium album followed Ascendancy, and
Shogun. Yeah.
yeah, between Ascendancy and Shogun,
Yeah.
and yeah, so I think like this is kind of the same thing,
Hmm.
and usually when there's like an album that everyone likes and the next album sounds different or has some kind of lineup change, like people just are overly critical of it. I think that's kind of what happens in general. So, but I like it. It's a thumbs up for me. I think it's one of their better ones, actually. I think I can name a lot of their other albums that are worse than this. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So we got our first thumbs up. So Brady, your last thoughts and vote.
All right, so yeah, my final thoughts. Again, this is coming from someone who isn't really very into this band, so that might give me somewhat of a different perspective, like I mentioned earlier. In general, I don't think this album is necessarily bad. As again, someone who's not really into this band, there was some stuff on here that I thought was good, that I thought was okay, and there was stuff on here that I didn't like. In general, I think there was maybe a little bit more that I didn't like over what I liked. For one, like those moments I mentioned earlier, like what track was it on Warped, and then on the title track too, I think had some. It jumped out to me a little bit like they were trying to hop on the grunge bandwagon a little bit with some of their stuff, just in some of Anthony's vocals and even some of the music as well. So that kind of turned me off a little bit. And like I said, I do like that they experimented with this album and try to do different stuff. That's always something I respect, whether it goes good or whether it goes bad. But in this case, a lot of the experimenting on here felt a little bit directionless and like a little bit off the wall at times, like tracks like P and Walkabout and Coffee Shop with those goofy vocals. So a lot of that didn't do a whole lot for me. A few tracks like Deep Kick and the title track felt a little bit long at times, and kind of going off what JC said, the album too feels a little bit long and a little bit bloated, in my opinion. There are still some stuff on here, like I think Hector mentioned earlier, the track Aeroplane is one of the songs that does feel like more of a straightforward, like Chili Pepper hit, if you will. That was a song that felt very familiar to me in a good way. The title track had some elements of that too, also falling into Grace and transcending the closer. My favorite track I'd probably give to Shallow Be Thy Game. I like that. I actually really enjoyed that track. It had a lot of energy to it. It had a really like fun, catchy main riff that I liked. So overall, there was a good amount of stuff that I wasn't really a fan of. There was some stuff that I did enjoy. I'm not really sure if I'd come back to this album just because, again, their music doesn't do a whole lot for me. But all that being said, I'm going to go in the middle.
Nice. So thumbs up, thumbs sideways. What about you, Rocco?
I
And
just
do not rate
realized
the
something.
Japanese version.
What?
Do not rate the Japanese version.
No.
Talking about the one that came out for us.
Yeah, I know. I just realized something though. I don't think they mentioned California once on this album.
Oh my God. You
Yeah, I don't think so.
That is so strange.
Google that because now that I think about it, I think that's the only album where they don't mention they're from California. If you
Yeah, I'm checking the lyrics for all the songs.
Talk about experimenting. That's like the biggest experiment that they did on this album, not mentioning fucking California.
Wait, was this album produced by Rick Rubin?
I
Yeah.
think
So probably Rick Rubin was like, do not mention California.
Enough for the California,
That's right. I didn't think about it, but now that I do, I listened to this today and I'm like, I didn't hear California once. Because in their other albums, it's mentioned somewhere, especially I think in their newer ones. Well, obviously Californication, there's a song called Californication. But
Yeah. Okay, so I checked all the song lyrics. Yeah, it doesn't come up once.
Wow. That's that's incredible that California doesn't come once. So that was a feat upon itself. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you know what? Maybe that was Dave. Like, dude, guys, shut the fuck up about California.
Yeah, because he's not from California. Is he from California? I don't know.
Well, the thing is, Anthony Kiedis is from Michigan.
Oh yeah, poser.
So with the benefit of hindsight, this is probably one of the most consistent Red Hot Chili Peppers albums. I would go so far as to say it is the best album I've had to listen to for Is It That Bad? It's up there with Post Malone and The Pretty Reckless.
Pretty Reckless?
Well, I mean, I'm biased. I was already a fan, but yeah, this is a good album. Thumbs up.
Okay, so we have 2 thumbs up, 1 sideways. So for me, this album, I think, like I said at the beginning, I think it really got a lot of negative because this was its predecessor, which was a classic. But if you actually listen to this album, Blood Sugar Sex Magic has like 17 tracks.
19.
19.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're not all great. So maybe it's maybe dare to say maybe it could be a little bit overrated. But I think it's good. I still think it's great. But
I mean, hey, it's more restrained than fucking Stadium Arcadium.
oh, of course, Stadium Arcadium. It's just their
Way too many songs.
Yeah,
Goddamn.
that's like 2.5 hours. That's that album.
Yeah.
It's basically it's their yeah, it's too much. It's too much. But to me, this is still my favorite from the Californication. But this album, yeah, like I said, Tommy's not here, but I would say this is a dark horse record. I think it's better than a lot of like I wouldn't have it like in the down. Like I think it got mixed reviews just because they changed their sound. It had Dave Navarro.
They didn't mention California once.
Probably people were pissed that they didn't mention California once. But yeah, there's just a few tracks that I think, the only track that I think is truly bad is Walkabout. I thought Walkabout was stupid. Because I like the sentiment. But besides those tracks, I like things, even in Deep Kick, I like some things about Deep Kick, and I like the experimentation that they did. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs up too. So yeah, so we have 3 thumbs up, 1 sideways. So Red Hot Chili Peppers, 1 Hot Minute is not that bad. So we want to know from you, Couchers, what you think of Red Hot Chili Peppers, 1 Hot Minute. Where would you put it in the discography? Would you rate it thumbs up, sideways, or down? Or would you call it a dark horse disc? And like our friend Tom the Green Man would say. So coming up next for Is It That Bad? We have an episode in Spanish, Es Tan Malo. And we're talking about a power metal band from Argentina called Rata Blanca, which means white rat. So this one was picked by George from our in Distortion Paradise Studio. So I'm gonna be joined by George and Lorenzo the Professor for that one. So that one should be interesting. And after that, we're finally doing an Exodus album with JC and the 2 Marks. Mark from Metal Never Dies and Mark from Electrocutioner. We're doing Exodus, JC, Force by Habit, right?
Force of Habit, yeah.
Force of Habit. We're doing a metal album that JC said that we should do. And that's going to be a very metal panel. So we're going to do that one. And after that one, Rocco, you said we should do a Theory of a Dead Band album.
Yes.
And you picked the 2017. I thought pick anyone. I'm sure we could put out any album from them.
Yeah. I was spoiled for choice. But I picked their 2017 album for reasons that I will not spoil, but I think you are in for a time.
Oh.
I'm getting Vietnam flashbacks just like hearing that.
You've heard RX Medicate?
Oh, I've heard RX Medicate.
So Brady's like, I know you're in for a. So yeah, those are the next 3 episodes. I was maybe thinking of doing an Avenged Sevenfold episode because Avenged Sevenfold is playing here in Puerto Rico. But I like the new album, so I would do Hell to the King, because that's when they went like copy paste Metallica. So I was thinking that would be a good one, and I think it got mixed reviews because some people were pissed at that album.
I would agree with that. I think that would be the album to go with.
Yeah,
I like the last ones too. Seemed like the hot take to like them, but
yeah, the last album I love their prog stuff.
Mhm.
So I'll probably do an Easy That Bad for that one as well. So I want to thank my panel for joining me. First of all, JC, thank you for joining us. And JC, are you happy that we're finally doing Exodus? I think you told me.
I was asking for that for a long time, right?
You're like, come on, let's do Exodus. I'm like, yes, let's do. We're gonna do a metal. Is It That Bad? So JC, he's got 2 channels. He's got his main channel, JC Rock and Metal Reviews. He does album reviews, and he also gives you like every weekend like 5 metal albums that came out that Friday, mini reviews and different styles, so everyone can be happy. And yeah, so subscribe. And his other channel, he shows vinyls and his physical media. So subscribe to him. Rocco, he recently had his 100th episode talking about the Beatles.
Yes.
Yes. My girlfriend won't watch that because she thinks they're overrated.
Oh, you showed her my channel. That was so nice of you.
You're what?
You showed her my channel. That was so nice of you.
Yeah, she's like, no, the Beatles. At some point, I'm doing an Is It That Bad for the Beatles.
I think we said Yellow Submarine. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Yes. But I don't know. I think that would be taking. I think people that would be one that we would get the hate comments. So
probably. Although, if your girlfriend likes Linkin Park, I did just make a video about 1,000 Suns.
No, my girlfriend doesn't. My girlfriend likes oldies and not. She doesn't like rock, man. She doesn't.
Really?
No. No.
Clearly not a deal breaker because you proposed to her.
I'm not gonna marry someone because they like the same music as me. No, she likes some bands, but she the real her bands. No, so for Rock of All Ages, you have that videos and stuff, and obviously Brady, his channel is you're getting more traction, Brady.
Yeah, I've gotten, I think, like a good 12, 15 subscribers the last week or so, which is awesome. I had a series of videos that did really well, so I'm very happy about that. Hopefully I can keep that momentum going.
Like, come on, subscribe to him. He does great album reviews, plus he's easy on the eyes.
Oh, I guess.
Although Hector still hasn't forgiven him for his Deftones ranking.
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah.
Oh, that it's all like a personal taste, and I'm sorry, but the new Deftones albums is really ranking up there for me. Like,
Yeah, me
it,
too.
Still White Pony for me is White Pony, but I don't know. Give it a few years. This new album by Deftones is really. I don't care what other YouTubers have said. It is a perfect album.
I agree. And you said something you said really stuck out to me, how you said give it a few years, because I think people are so quick to put new albums like and rank them among the rest of the discography. But like I probably won't know for at least a solid 2 or 3 years where Private Music ranks among the rest of the discography. Because
I gotta spend more time with it, but it's really good.
I agree.
So yeah, so Brady does all that, so you can subscribe to his channel as well. And obviously, if you haven't subscribed to me, what are you waiting for? And also, I too am pretty easy on the eyes.
Hey,
He's easy on the eyes. He's chill. He's on a couch. He's got it all.
what more do you want?
And I'll do my fiance. It's funny that you say she doesn't like rock, dude. We did a Backstreet Boys review. That was her idea. She loves Backstreet Boys. She loves oldies. So yeah, she's not into like hard rock stuff, but she lets me listen to all that stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, I remember she saw my Deftones review and I'm like, oh, I was saying it's sexy, and she listened to some tracks and she's like, that's not sexy at all. I'm like, for me. Like, so yeah, so subscribe to the channel and we'll see you next time for Is It That Bad? So until next time, couchers, this is Hector, the shield dude on a couch, and we'll see you right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye. And Anthony Kiedis, man, like this album is older than your girlfriend. Shame.